La La Land. So, latest news from Lakerland is that LeBron James met with the Los Angeles Lakers front office to discuss, let's be honest, how they can avoid being a dumpster fire like they were pretty much all of last year. Important meeting, I would think. One of those meetings, I think for anyone who's worked in corporate America, where you as the worker know that everything's broken, and you sit down with the head regional manager, some division, and you're trying to get them to acknowledge, listen, this thing's completely wrong. Everything is not working, and they're trying to tell you, listen, just be patient. We're a new company. We're just getting off the ground. We've got some issues with our cameras, no doubt. But things are gonna iron themselves. Just listen. We acknowledge you. We hear you. Hang on. And you're like, no. Like, this is not. I can't do my job. Braun says the majority. Well, whoever says this, the majority of the hour-long meeting was about expressing concerns and hearing out strategies and opinions to assure there would not be a repeat of last season's epic failure. The key words here are repeat and epic failure. Rob Pelinka and Darvin Ham agreed with LeBron that, yes, they too would like to win games. Yes, I agree. Shocking. But hot take, yeah, we also want to figure it out, win games as well. In the meeting, though, this is where things get interesting. Darvin Ham says that he is going to change the offense. How so? He is going to, this is where it gets really key, implement and stick with having the offense run through skin of paper, bones of glass. They're running the offense through Anthony Davis, who hasn't played a full, and stick with, implement and stick with, going through Anthony Davis, who hasn't played more than half the games, and I don't know how long. How can you be sure that Anthony Davis won't play 38 games again? Well, they believe he's in optimum shape to simply avoid serious injuries. What? That's not an elite level, folks. That's the bare minimum. That's not optimum. That's literally if you look at your job description on a application, like that's point 1. Be available for all 82 games. Optimum shape to not get serious, not even bangs and bruises. Like not even just optimum shape to remain healthy and available and the focal point of the offense. Just optimum shape to not have serious season-ending injuries. To me, very telling. Disaster. That's like disaster 1. Another thing that Darvin Ham wants to do. He thinks that Russ will give them a bump in corner three-point shooting. Excuse me, what? Excuse me, what? This is not an article from Ballsack Sports, by the way. This is an article by Yahoo Sports. Russell Westbrook, a bump in corner three-point shooting? You might say, Trysta, Russell Westbrook hit 43.8% from corner threes. But he only shot 55 of them all year, folks. He didn't shoot a lot of them. For his career, he shoots less than 30% from the arc. One of the worst in the NBA. They think what? Russell Westbrook's going to turn into Jay Crowder? They think he's going to turn into PJ Tucker? Just stand over there in the corner, slash, play defense. He's just going to wait and pass until he gets an uncontested three? Honest. And then another thing that they said is they were going to give LeBron James, this is what Rob Pelinka said, he wants James to retire as a Laker and promised him to provide him with every resource possible to compete for a championship each year he's with the organization. Let me ask you this, sincerely, if you're listening. Does anyone believe that the Lakers are in contention this year? Does anyone believe that this roster right now is capable of beating the Warriors, the Grizzlies, the Clippers, the Wolves, the Nuggets, even the Pelicans? This is not a team. Brian Windhorst said this very plainly today. This team's not making the playoffs, let alone contending for a championship, baby. What? For Pelinka to say this to Braun is exactly why we call Rob Pelinka a snake oil salesman. How can you smile in my face and tell me this? Tell me you want me to retire as a Laker? I'm fucking gone, bro. Apparently, the meeting was deemed productive and informative, which means there's only a couple of people who informative and productive. What are we informing? Which means either two things. One, Rob Pelinka leaked this. Oh, yeah. Or Rich Paul is like, we learned a lot by this meeting. It was informative. It was productive. It all depends on how you really interpret the words productive and informative. If you're Rich Paul and you're like, we're running the offense through AD, huh? Yep. We're not signing that extension until after the season, folks. To me, Lakers, endless comedy. I'm here for every minute of it. Constant fodder for the podcast. And truthfully, there might be no more pitiful franchise in the NBA than the Lakers, considering how high they were and how consistently low they're going to be for the indefinite future. Just absolute clown show behavior.